Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for always coming back to watch my new videos. If you are new here, karibu sana. Thank you for popping in and I hope you stay. My name is Candy and I'm a mom of 3 amazing and adorable babies. This is a community where we get to share the joys of motherhood, life lessons, opportunities, tips, and basically lifestyle in general. So if you're new and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing and also liking this video, and don't forget to also turn on the notification bell button so that you will always be amongst the first people to get my new videos. Happy Mother's Day to all the amazing moms out there. Today and every day we celebrate the love and care and selflessness mothers do give. Mothers are indeed the heart of many families and communities, and if you're watching this and you're a mother, know that I'm grateful for what you do, for being the rock of your family, their guiding light and constant source of support. I hope they got to celebrate you and remind you of how special you are, and if not, just know that words and actions cannot really measure to what you can do and who you are. You make a difference even when it feels like you are not. So today I celebrate you. Happy Mother's Day. I never had the chance of being raised by my biological mom. My mom died when I was 6 years old. I was very young and I had my 2 little sisters just following me. One was 5 at the time and another one was 2 weeks old. And honestly, every other year, especially during Mother's Day, my wish to God was, I wish she was here, See how far we've come, And at the same time, I always believe that everything happens for a reason. Things happen so that it could pave way for other things to happen at the same time, All the same, I also know that God blessed me with the best people I could call mom, Best people who raised me, and I look up to them a lot. And honestly, I got not to feel empty because of them. That motherly void was filled by them, and I got to experience at least a glimpse of how having a mother felt, and it was amazing. And we grow up at the same time and it was beautiful. Basically what I'm trying to say is you don't have to be raised by your biological mother to feel how motherhood feels like. We all have different mother figures and they come in different forms. God creates everything and makes everything beautiful, and we thank God for that. So that was my journey, and I believe everyone's is different. So if you have a mom and you got an opportunity to be raised by them until this particular time and they're still alive, so you just have to thank God for that, because people have different experiences and people are going through a lot at the same time. So celebrate your mom, celebrate your parents when they're still alive, because tomorrow is untold. I became a mom when I was really, really young. I think I was 23 years then. I was really, really young, and I had my firstborn son. And honestly, if you've ever had anyone saying that motherhood changed everything from them, like they started viewing things differently after they had a baby, especially if this person was young, if they got a baby when they were young like me, then I would tell you that that statement is true, because it was the same for me. I was really, really young, and before then I was not matured enough. I mean, I was doing basically what my age mates were doing at that particular time, just going to school, studying, and just depending on my relatives, you know, just to take care of me, to pay my rent, to give me pocket money and all that kind of stuff. But immediately I got my son, and even before I gave birth to him, things started being different for me. I think I matured early, if that's the best way to put it. I started thinking differently. I started looking at life differently. I wanted to explore so many stuff. Not that I wasn't ambitious before. I was, but I knew that I had enough time to do the things that I wanted to achieve. But when I became a mom, it was like I wanted to do things there and then, you know. I want to start a business, I'm starting it tomorrow. It was all there. And honestly speaking, I think I started a business even before I gave birth to my first son. I was selling clothes, I was selling shoes, I was doing it online, you know, and I was traveling to meet customers in CBD in Kenya, and customers would come to me. We would meet in different places. I remember there was this lovely lady who would drive to where I was just because I was pregnant. She was my frequent customer. She would drive to my place where we used to live to just pick her stuff just because I was pregnant. But for me, that was exercise. And we also started a business, a shop business with my husband. We were selling some stuff, and it was more like a restaurant shop, you know, and it was amazing. I couldn't believe that was me. And we went to a point of hiring someone to work for us, and I was still 23, 24. And honestly, it's not like I'm advocating for people to give birth early, but I'm saying that everyone's journey is different. Honestly, if my daughter comes to me today and says that she's expecting at that age, I would be so scared. And I assume that my relatives were really, really scared at that particular time, or maybe disappointed and all that kind of stuff. But I think right now looking back, I would say that everything went according to how I envisioned them to be. It honestly was one of the best decisions, or the best things that ever happened to me, because it made me mature early enough. And also, I said that I wanted to just get done with motherhood before I reached 30, you know, and that I made sure it came to pass, because right now I have 3 babies and I just turned 31, and I just wanted to relax when I'm 30, going to aging, you know. I just wanted to do other stuff and not focus on having babies and all that. But if God brings more babies, we will raise them, you know, because we don't know God's plan as at now. But this is where I am. I'm content with where I am. I thank God for what I have, and motherhood is beautiful. Raising these kids has been faced with different things, different challenges, of course, in different joys, all sorts of mixed feelings. And I'm so glad that God gave me the chance to be a mother, to be able to experience how motherhood is, and also be able to raise these amazing human beings that He gave us just to raise and continue with His creation, and basically to also appreciate the mothers who raised us, because it is through raising these children that I got to understand how it feels to raise a child. And I'm like, whoa, my grandmom did that, you know, when they were beating us or talking to us and we were not listening. I'm like, whoa, you did that, you know. They went through that, and I'm like, oof, I'm so sorry if I did that to you too, you know. Yeah, but motherhood is beautiful, the best decision ever in my life, and I'm so grateful that I'm going through it, and I can't wait to see what more is in store, even as we continue raising these amazing and beautiful babies. Like I said, motherhood comes in different forms. We were raised differently and we also are raising differently. There is no formula into motherhood or parenting. We all just work with what we have and how best we can work for ourselves, and to our knowledge, we give the best to our kids, the things that we think are best for them, and life continues basically. But also in the same regard, sometimes we just feel a lot of pressure as mothers, and we just are faced with things that make us feel like we are failing in motherhood, that we are not good enough. And some of these things, honestly, they tend to just give us a lot of pressure that makes us to even forget our real focus of raising our children, or basically even loving them to the best of the best way that we can, basically. And some of these things are things like unrealistic expectations, and this comes from the societal judgment. Sometimes we get so much pressure from the society, and the society tends to portray this image of a perfect mother, and it just wants people to just be that, like, this is motherhood, this is how you're supposed to raise your child, this is how you're supposed to discipline your child. And these things really affect our judgment of motherhood, and it tends to make us feel inadequate sometimes. And because of that, some of us moms tend to feel like we are not really giving our best in raising our children, and it's not really good. Sometimes we also compare ourselves to others, whether in the real world or social media, especially social media nowadays. We see a lot of things on social media. I think most things nowadays is on social media, and we see how people are parenting on social media, and we compare with how we are parenting, and we feel like we are not giving the best, and we're like, whoa, these kids are having fun, or this mom is going overboard and I'm not doing the same for my kid, and we feel like we've lost it, and through that, only one single picture or one simple video gets us to just conclude that we are failing in motherhood, and sometimes we also get to have lack of support. If you're a single mom and you are raising your children alone, you tend to feel like no one is there for you. You feel overwhelmed. You feel like the society is looking at you, or you failed terribly, and you don't even know if you're instilling the correct values to your children as you should. It's all different, and through this we get to have the feelings of guilt and self-doubt, whether it's in disciplining our children, whether it's in the parenting choices that we make, or basically just balancing work and life. Things as simple as that tend to make us just to have that impaired judgment, that we are not raising our children to the best knowledge that we can. And honestly, these things, if we look at them well, they tend to give us more pressure than they are, and we just tend to conclude, I'm not good enough, I'm not a good mother, I'm not treating my children well, I'm not disciplining them well, I'm not giving them the best that I should. And because of that, it gets to lower our self-esteem and all other stuff, and we start giving inadequate to our children that we should. I normally look at our parents, especially if you were raised in a humble background, and you know that honestly you never got an opportunity to live in a good house, and you had challenges growing up, but still, if you were in that setup, you would know that love never failed to reign in that family. And even as we grow up and looking back, we just thank our mothers, our parents, for giving their best, especially our moms. We just look at the challenges they went through, having so many children and being able to raise them all, and mostly all of them turn out to be so good. If that mom managed to do that at that particular stage of her life, and even in that environment, and then why is it so difficult for us to do the same in the same setup that we have? I know it's easier said than done, and I know it takes the grace of God, but at the time I know that with the will to do it, then God will align everything that we need for us to be able to raise our children the way we want to raise them, and as we should. Like I said, motherhood is different for everyone, and it is my hope that we practice self-care. We just work on our physical and emotional, and above all our mental health, our mental well-being, because we need it and our children need it. I hope that we get a chance to embrace self-compassion and treat ourselves with kindness and patience and love. And also, above everything, my hope is that we get to focus on progress and embrace imperfection. No one is perfect. I hope that we get to be reminded of that and know that we are a work in progress. Above all, I know that one thing that always kills us as mothers, as women, is comparison. And comparison in motherhood is one killer of our joy. I hope we do get a chance to let go of comparison and start focusing on ourselves and how we are raising these beautiful children that God gave us. Let us enjoy and celebrate the milestones and accomplishments that we are making each and every day. No matter how small it is, no matter how big it is, let us learn to celebrate each milestone as it is, and also let's release the guilt and forgive ourselves for the small mistakes that we make. Like I said, we are not perfect. We are human beings. Other than being mothers, other than being a sister to someone, a wife to someone, we are human beings, and as human beings we are prone to make mistakes. So even as we do that in motherhood, let's learn to forgive ourselves and strive to be better next time. And above all, guys, I always share in my YouTube channel that we should always find, or rather build, a support network of mothers that will encourage us, that will make us feel like we are no different, that we will share our pain and our joys together, that we will hold each other's hands whenever we feel like we are losing it. You know, it's easier said than done, but if we give out of will, if we focus, and if we dedicate everything to God, things are gonna work and we are going to see things in a different way. This is all I had for you today, guys. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope that you will give it a like, share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So this is goodbye for now. Stay safe, stay blessed, and bye bye.